We've come to eat your brains.
Ladies and gentle mages, civilians across the multiverse, welcome back to another adventure with ManaMan. Today, we've got a juicer for you. We've got the zombie Onslaught, and we are on a quest for brains with a bunch of new cards from Crimson Vow. Starting off with the almighty Overcharged Amalgam, and this puppy, look at that, flash, flying, and exploit. This card had a lot of hype on release, and I think it fell a little bit short of expectations to most people, but I still think this card is busted, and I'm going to run 4 of these to top off the curve as my only 4-drop in the deck. This thing, when it comes out and you can exploit a creature, and it can exploit itself, you can counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. This is going to be the exclamation point of our zombie deck. The point of this deck is to go very aggro, very fast. That's it. This is an aggressive zombie deck. It wants to kill you quick, and that's basically it. We do have the Headless Rider, so in case you wipe out all of our zombies, we're just going to reflood the field with a bunch of 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. And these tokens don't even have decayed, so they're just permanent unless you kill them or get rid of them some other way. So this Headless Rider, outside of the absolutely stunning art, shout out to that artist, wow, just phenomenal. Some of my favorite art. I hope it makes the thumbnail. Look at that. That is going to protect all of our creatures, all of our precious zombies from being wiped out, and they will go ahead and get 2/2s right across the board. We'll go wide, and it feels like a cheat code, quite honestly. We do have Geralf, Visionary Stitcher. This card is probably the weirdest selection I have, especially considering it's an aggro deck, but giving our zombies flying is going to allow for so many positive combat matchups that it's absolutely sickening. On a 1/4 body, it does wall a lot of different kind of aggro things, so that's nice. And for the 1-drop tap ability, you can sacrifice another non-token creature and create an XX blue zombie creature token where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness. So if they're just chump blocking or any sort of thing, maybe you're doing something with so just either chump blocking or they're getting targeted by something, you just pop that off, you get a free replacement, easy as. And the zombies you control having flying gives you a win condition. This actually is a win condition. So when you have a Champion of Perish, which as we all know is going to get bumped up with every zombie that enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it. When this thing's up to like an 8/8 and you just give it flying and it can just swing in unblocked, whoo, that is a dangerous combination. So I am going to run 2 of these puppies. It is a legendary, so I still wouldn't even recommend running more than 2, being that it is prone to the legendary rule. Other than that, we do have the Graph Reaver. This thing is pretty good. I mean, the Planeswalker effect doesn't really come in too often, but other than that, I mean, it's just a 3/3 beat stick for 2. We do take 1 damage, but that's usually not the end of the world. It actually can be in certain matchups that can actually be pretty brutal, but overall, Graph Reaver is just an excellent aggro card. It's an aggro zombie. There's not much else to run here. I mean, just run it with confidence. 3 Infernal Grasp. We have a lot of life loss here, so that is something to know. I almost thought about putting Baleful Mastery in over this card because I think Baleful Mastery is less prone to getting really screwing you over because of the draw factor if you want to cast it for 2. So I did consider Baleful Mastery, and I still might. I'm not entirely sure, but giving your opponent a card, even in an aggro deck, I just don't know if it's that good enough to run in this format. So I opted for the Infernal Grasp, but keep in mind you can absolutely run Baleful Mastery if you want. Yadar, still don't know how to say any cards. What else is new on this channel? But at the beginning of your upkeep, just create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed if you don't already have one. Pretty simple. Pop out zombies, swing, keep them coming. Keep them coming. That's all we're trying to do here. Then we do have white, and this card is going to come in tapped. Again, we don't really care about the taps because it's a 3/2, and whenever a creature dealt damage by white this turn dies, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token, and you get to exile. So any sort of like kill effect trigger is not going to go off because it's exiled instead. We have the Blade Stitch Scab. Again, nothing fancy here. Other zombies get +1/+0. Buff everyone up. Let's swing in. Let's get this done. Let's eat our opponent's brain quick. In our 1-drops, we do have Dungeon Crawler. This is going to enter the battlefield tapped, and again, we don't really care about the tapping because we're just looking for damage. We're just looking for speed, power, aggression. The dungeon effect is completely irrelevant because we're not running dungeons. But again, just a 2-1. The Champion of the Parish is an absolute must-have. If you're running any zombie decks, you pretty much have to run this in a 4-of. I don't care if it's aggro, mid-range, whatever. I mean, it doesn't even matter. It put a 1/1 counter on it each time a zombie comes into the battlefield. Everything is pretty standard here. We do have the pretty little Dracula swamps and islands here. Those are very pretty. And the 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrants, and then 4 Agademes, just because we have so many 1s, 2s, and 3s, and then even 1/4 with the Amalgam. So there's no reason not to run the Agademe. It could be an absolute bomb on like turn 5 or 6 just to give you some extra value, and we don't really run anything late game, so the Agademe is a must-have. I don't usually include a maybe board, but there were so many zombies, so I'll give a quick little run through of why I did not opt to run these. The Cobbled Lancers, we just don't have enough synergy with the graveyard. I do think I'm going to run another shell of this zombie deck, and it's going to include the Ebon Death, the Narfi Betrayer King. You'll see all these things with the graveyard, but opted not to go there. Shambling Gas is a classic, but we just don't really make use of the ramp with the treasure, and the -1/-1, it just isn't good enough to run, to be completely honest with you. Tainted Adversary, to get usage out of it, you really need to cast it for 5 to get the 2/2 Black Zombie creature tokens, and if we go to past turn 5, we're already looking pretty bad anyway, so we just opted not to run this thing. It's a little too slow. A Falcon Abomination, same thing. I'm going to run a shell with the zombies and the graveyard with the Ebon Death, what I don't know what that is. Then the Narfi, and that'll be like the graveyard thing. The Fell Stinger, again, is just a little too slow. If we're exploiting creatures and we're drawing cards, we want our creatures on the battlefield. It does go with Headless Rider, but they're both 3-drops, so again, it's just too slow. We want things on the battlefield swinging. We don't really want to be drawing. We want to be attacking and presenting a threat. Necro Duality, again, awesome card, awesome card. It's just way too slow, pure and simple. It's a 4-drop. You don't even get to use it until turn 5, and then on turn 5, what? I mean, they get to swing on turn 6. I mean, it's just too slow, but it's an awesome card. The I can't even pronounce this, but the Dragoor Necromancer, again, just a little too slow, and we're not running Snow with the Narfi and the Ebon Death, and again, just a little too slow for my liking, and we're not running Snow anyway. The Snow and Graveyard synergies are not worth it in my opinion. So we'll be running this aggro shell, and without further ado, let's get ready to vanquish some enemies. Maru Beluka, we are coming for your brains. Your brains belong to the horde of zombies. So we do have these pretty little Dracula swamps and islands. They do kind of hurt. They come off the eye weird because they kind of look like a creature. So when you're looking at your initial starting hand, it is a little odd. They're very pretty though. We're definitely going to keep them. Don't want to slam them. They are pretty. They just kind of confuse me for creatures sometimes. Let's go ahead and drop the Champion of the Perished, and hopefully he will not perish. Get out of here, you bat. And we're going to go with the Thunderous Orator. Attacks, it gains flying until end of turn. If you control a creature with flying. Oh, okay. Right, this is the card that copies everything. That's pretty good. So let's go ahead and we need some blue mana here. Let's see what we can do here. I don't really want to trade because we'll eventually be able to win the trade. So we start off slower than we'd like. Let's, you'll take what we can get. I'm assuming they'll drop a creature of some sort that will give it one of these cute little abilities. Drop the Snow-Covered Plains, so we are going against snow. And Skyclave Apparition doesn't have any of those abilities, but it does have the ability of getting rid of our white, which is not good. You want to swing in? I'm not going to block you, so you probably should. There you go. No thank you. Firm no thank you on that one. Let's drop the Swampy. Problem with the Graph Reaper is we are kind of behind and it's going to hurt us, but oh well. Graph Reaper it is. I am not going to do that. Always throws me off. Drop the dungeon crawler and swing in. I think we can start being a little more aggressive here. I doubt they're going to double block. That wouldn't make too much sense. And then we have a Reaver to block on their turn. So looking pretty good. They obviously could have another Apparition on the Reaver. Or even the Parish. But I think we're good to attack here. 16-18. This is already looking pretty close. Circle of Confinement. I haven't seen this. This card is a standard removal spell. Less than standard. It is an uncommon. Don't see it a whole lot. It's like the second time I've ever seen it. So they're going to go ahead and exile me. Assuming they're Reaver, but I don't know. Maybe not. And whenever I cast another Vampire, we're not running Vampire, so it's not relevant. They would gain 2 life. And the Aspirant. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and get it on the Vigilance. Boom, boom. And that's going to take us down. Let's go ahead and play... Do we want to play the Visionary Stitcher? Is the question. Or do we want to burn this as well? I think I might be okay with burning this. Do we want to go for aggro? We can't play the Amalgam, so I'm just gonna set this down. Don't want to pay the life for it, and the creature part isn't very relevant here. Let's go ahead and swing in for 6. Hopefully we'll be able to block with this Geralf. Probably not the Orator, because they'll probably bump it up. Another removal spell just puts us in a rough spot. So just gonna Elite Spellbinder, not a removal. Like a de facto foe removal. So the kind of semi-gamble kind of pays off because they're not going to be able to remove Geralf. If they were to have another Circle of Confinement or literally anything, it would really hurt us. Because if they just get rid of that, swing out, I mean, we would really be putting our backs then. So this is actually going to kind of work out. I'm not going to block this thunderous swinging Orator, but I will block the Apparition because it will just bounce, so... Oh, and it does gain flying, of course. It's been so long since it actually did something, I forgot it did that. Okay. So we can drop a white here. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm thinking our win condition here is probably just Champion of the Perished in the air. So we'll gain 5. 2 swings would be lethal. So if I just cast this at sorcery speed, it'll take us down to 7. I think that should be enough if we can prevent this thing from flying. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be close, because we'll have 2 blockers if they swing out. We'll have a Haven. Oh, it's going to be very close. So we're only going to swing with Perished. And keep these 2 on the back end for chump blocking if we have to. Oh, this actually gives lifelink and indestructible. Okay. So let's just say we do this. That would put lethal in range. We can't do that, unfortunately. So, forgot about this thing giving lifelink. So we go ahead and hit. Hopefully they're not smart enough to use that Haven, and they are. Good on them. You gonna swing out here? Wouldn't be quite enough for lethal, but I will have to chump block too, so it's not great. Alrighty, let's see what you got. Swinging out? Or are you giving lifelink and sacrificing this? My diaper's full. I could really use a fresh Pampers right now. Alright. Okay, so they are going to swing out. That's good. It's good on them. They should be doing that. So, definitely not going to touch you because you can just blink and then just give lifelink anyway. So, I have to see if I do this and this. That's lethal. Can't do that. So, we'll go ahead and bounce this, hopefully. And then this will go in for 6. That's our only play. Hopefully they don't have an instant of some sort. That would be sick. Some sort of bump spell. Down 5-1. Anything else? Oh, and it's a plains, and they are tapped out. That is going to be it. 5-1. 1 life for the win. Wowee. We'll go ahead and place the Blade Stitch Scab for fun, just to give us a little extra juice and firepower. But they have no flyers, and this is going to be it. The lifelink is irrelevant because they can't block with anything, so it doesn't matter. They're going to activate the Haven, and it's not going to do anything. I'm gonna hit him with the GGs. We'll go ahead and send it in for a flying, and that's going to be game. Good game. Servox sounds provocatively like something else. Servox. We've come to eat your brains. Unfortunately, we have only Agadeems, so might be a little risky to keep this, but we're on the draw too. Oh my, this is actually kind of gross. I'm feeling risky. Let's do it. As long as we have a Perish. If we didn't have a Perish here, there's no way I'd be keeping this. But we do have a Perish in our hand for that turn 1 presence. And we're going to need some help pretty darn quickly. Go ahead and drop that for a tapped. Don't have a turn 2, so not good. But we are both going Ashiok. So that's some flavor that I enjoy. There we go. There's some blue here. Let's go blue. And let's drop the Headless Rider for a little bump action. Skullport Merchant. Hey, Black Friday's over, Skullport. I'm done with your deals. You do have some treasure, though. Dwarf Citizen, and they're going to go ahead and play the Loth. So I need a Graph Reaper very quickly here. Oh, look at that! Would you look at that? Ask and you shall receive. Wow. That was nice. So let me just decide what I want to do here. Unfortunately... Do I just want to kill the Perish? Because we have to get rid of the Loth here. It has to go. End of story. So, I actually don't think there's anything else we can do outside play the Swamp. Let's go ahead and drop this Graph Reaver. And at least make an attempt to get rid of this Loth, because that is absolutely going to be trouble. Do we get rid of itself? Do I get rid of itself and then keep the Perished? I think we do. Create the 2. The 4 comes back.
Setback. Nothing more.
That's a pretty good thing. Yeah, okay. Good trade. Good trade. I think I'm going to just stay put because I want to give this puppy flying. Even though it'll still die from everything though. Maybe give it 5 so it can't block, double block and kill. I think that was the move, so feeling pretty good here. Another merchant, so they're just putting up walls and treasure, walls and treasure. Another amalgam. A lot of blue for something that's not going to help us right now. Arrgh. So let's go ahead and drop this. Now we fly. Unfortunately... Oh, that's so aggravating. We can't get this up to 5. What do we want to do here? That was such a brick. That was the brick of all bricks, this amalgam. 2 out of 48 cards. Pretty good odds, but we got screwed there. This is so not good. I think I just want to hold because you swing here, they'll have to double block. I think we're going to do it. I don't want this game to go on too far. So let's go ahead and swing with both of these here. Keep the Headless Rider. Not pretty, not optimal, but zombies aren't always pretty. You get it? So they're going to trade the spiders. Good move on their part. We're going to create another 2/2 flying zombie. Kind of want to keep this Agadine because the blue doesn't even help us. So I'm going to keep the Agadine. It doesn't even help us to play it. It's not a blue source. We could use it to reanimate something from the grave. So I'm okay with that. Blood on the Snow, as we all know, roams the streets of the format and cripples opponents' boards. But we do have the Headless Rider to create a whopping 1 more token. There it is! There it is! Create another merchant. Fortunately, the merchant isn't crazy good. And we do get another blue. Thank goodness, something here. So we are 1 more turn away from dropping an Agadine. So we can just pass here. This is actually not the end of the world, because 1 more swamp or forest or anything, forest, what the, any sort of land source, and we can drop an Agadine's Awakening and get a Geralf, a Headless Rider, and a Reaver and a Perish. Wow, that is really good. And now we can just sit back on these amalgams. So any sort of big crazy spell, we just sit back and just say nope with the amalgam. And that is going to be our call here. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of it. Oh, they have another one! Oh, they have double Sorin! Oh no, double Sorin!
My way. I have a wedding to stop.
You have a ManaMan to stop and a wedding to stop, Sorin. Oh. Oh, goodness.
My ways are not for the weak.
No, they're not. They're not for the weak. So let's drop the island here. We fortunately can do some cool stuff here now. So, alright, let's do this. 1, 2, 3. We're going for broke, baby. And then it becomes, do we want the Headless Rider or do we want the Visionary Stitcher? I think in a deck running against Blood on the Snow, we have to go Headless Rider. We just have to. Auto pay here. And do we want to kill something here? I think we do. So we want to kill, again, the Graph Reaver, again, to kill the Sorin. The Headless Rider pops off. We get another buff.
Let this be over.
Oh, it's over, Sorin. Get over it. Without a Blood on the Snow, looking pretty good. Headless Rider will protect us from any sort of destruction. And look at that. The Agadine into all of this free back. Get rid of the Reaver. Oh my gosh, it self-sacrifices to kill the second Sorin if one wasn't good enough. Woo-wee. They do take the Headless Rider, so now we don't have protection from a Blood on the Snow. That is very noteworthy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They would have enough. Oh, that would be devastating if they had a Blood on the Snow here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They would have just enough to wipe the board. Fortunately, they only have 2 snow mana, so I don't know if they could get back a Shambling Ghast. Worst case scenario. But that'd be pretty unlucky either way. So they don't have it. Looking pretty decent here. We have 2 overcharged amalgams in our hand. Woo! Now we're sitting pretty. We can swing with both tokens.
We've come to eat your brains.
We can swing with both tokens here because it'll only bounce off the 1/4. And keep the amalgam to set to exploit for this ability to get a counter off. So we're looking pretty gosh darn good right now. Let's see, they do have 4 mana, so they can do something here. Bam, bam, bam. End turn, we're going to be able to flash this in. We'll have lethal on the next turn on top of a counter spell. The overcharged amalgam. I mean, usually you find amalgam in your teeth. Some people have those, but woo-wee. Our Servox is going to find it in the air, swinging at the head for lethal. Let's see what they got. Play your worst. Meat Hook Massacre. I don't want you to play that. I don't want you to play that. I'm gonna go ahead and counter that. A big old nope from good old blue. They're going to draw here. And that's over. Good game. Amalgam. Ringo Raptor. Battle of the Alliteration. Ringo Raptor, ManaMan. Ringo Raptor, ManaMan. Ringo Raptor, ManaMan. So I already screwed up on the third one. So we do have an island. Dracula is on a boat. That's a small boat for how ferocious that storm looks. I don't know if you're going to make it, man. Undoubtedly going with a mulligan here. Ringo. This is your wake-up call. It's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Alright. Mulligan. There we go. I don't want to get rid of the overcharged amalgam. Really don't. I don't know what we're playing against here, so I guess we'll ditch the you. I guess. Without any information of knowing what they're playing, I mean, it's just kind of a crapshoot. So they'll go ahead with the planes. We take a mulligan, and we're on the draw, and we have no 1-drop. So, not good. Assuming we're playing against mono white yet again. Mono white. Oh, I will stand corrected. Get a little blue action going. With a foretell. With a foretell. So let's drop a Reaver. I will not do that. No need to exploit ourselves. That would be exploiting our own chances at winning. We'll just go ahead and assume it's a Doomscar. What else? What else is blue? And these colors even run with Foretell. Obviously Alrun's, and then you have what? Behold the Multiverse. I don't think that card really gets much run anymore, though. Don't kill me. Yay! We let it live. They thought about it. They did think about it. So let's go ahead and just drop the Headless Rider. So if they're thinking about killing me, you should probably do it now. Oh, a divide by 0. Okay. So I guess they're just concerned about the tempo. Definitely don't want to... Okay, I mean... Because they used it on the 2-drop. I mean, I guess the 3-drop in Headless Rider would just... has the same power anyway, I suppose. So, alrighty. So let's go ahead and drop... I kind of want to drop this Perished, right? Or do I want to go Reaver and then Scab? Let's do it. Let's do it. We're racing the clock. Let's drop the Scabby boy. Drop the Reaver. It feels weird leaving a Perished. But we kind of just have to. Let's go ahead and swing out. If they sweep the board, we'll go ahead and get three 2/2 zombie tokens with the Headless Rider, which is so nice. You can just play out the Rider and say, well, if you're going to Doomscar, which is very possible, we can just go ahead and get our zombies back. Faithful Mending. So they're going to gain life, stall a little bit, draw 2, hopefully buy some time for what would be a bigger spell later. Hopefully we can get a blue source for this juicy zombie horror counter spell that we can have to counter this potential spell that they have. Ooh, that puts them in Doomscar range. So get that. An Eye of the High Tyrant is not going to do it. We will play it for future reference. Let's go with... Yeah, here we go. There's nothing else to do. Play creatures, swing out. It always looks like he's playing the banjo. I know he's not. It's a sword, but it just always looks like he's just like playing a banjo here. Let's go with the Graph Reaver. Gotta have some sort of disruption here. Saw it coming, maybe. Oh, a divide by 0. Oh, that's actually gonna be pretty good. It's actually gonna be pretty good here because now they can Doomscar and not care. Now they can Doomscar and not care. If this was a blue, we would have the game wrapped up if we had a blue source because we could just counter anything they have. But now, without the blue, now we're in wide open range to getting swept, and that we'll get swept and wept. Environmental Sciences. So we're in desperate need of a blue, because if we can just lock our opponent out, that would be game. But we're in very... So, there it is. Choose 2 non-land permanents we control, and to return it to our hands. So, let's return... these 2? I think I may have read that wrong. I definitely read that wrong. I thought the other 2... Okay. Okay, hey. We're full of mistakes today. Let's go ahead and drop the Headless Rider. I kind of want to keep this, but it's not... Beggars can't be choosers. Let's drop the Graph Reaver. No. Drop the Headless Rider. So there is still some firepower here. That Devastating Mastery really got me. You really got me. You really got me. So we do have the Headless Rider again will protect us from a Doomscar. Oh, a Sunset Revelry. That is a good stall card. Very good stall card. So it gives out 2, draws 2. Yeah, that is... Whew. We don't have enough blue, unfortunately. Not enough blue to cast both of these. So let's go ahead and... I don't really want to swing with that. Swing with a single Reaver. They'll block it like a chump. We could have swung with the Hive Tyrant, but again, we gotta save it for the Amalgam here. Memory Deluge. Okay, we'll let it go. I never know if it's better to counter the Deluge or to like let them get the crazy big spells and then counter the big spells. I think it's still better to let the big spells go. My turn. Alright. Agadeem's Awakening. That, you know, gives us some stuff to play with here. I mean... Oh, man. You know, look at how much cards they have. We gotta just swing. Let's just try it out. So we're going to let's go ahead and get rid of... The Headless Rider's doomed anyway, right? You're going to chump block. And we'll be able to get some stuff back with the Agadine, but again, I mean, we just have to do something here. Going again against control. Classic control versus aggro matchup. Oh, and they're going to go ahead and take away the Tyrant. The Tyrant land. Oh, what do we want here? Let's go ahead and just take a blue. Need a lot of black for this, but we need a lot of blue for a would-be. We draw into an amalgam. There is the Doom Scar. Swept and we wept. We do have the Awakening. So we can go ahead and give everything back, but we can only do this one time. So if they have any other answers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Here we go. Bam. The Parish will get 3+1/+1 counters. Unless they count on this. Oh! Wow! And that is going to be game. Oh, good lord. Lord friend. I can't see your face, but I know there's a brain in there. And we're going to eat it. Let's go ahead and keep that hand. We got some blue mana this time. That's pretty nice. Been starved off blue for quite some time. Swampy. Champion of the Parish, going against White Weenies. White Weenies versus Dimir Zombies. So it's looking like you got the upper hand, huh? Comes down to, what do we want to do here? Do we want to save the Infernal Grasp, or do we want to establish some zombie pumpage with the Parish? I'm going to opt for the zombie pumpage. No swings. Let's go and increase it. We do create, oh my god. So that's not good, but we actually do have a good block here with the Ghoul Collar on the adversary. And they're gonna let it go. That's actually kind of interesting here. It's such a good play for them because we just get a 1/1 back and it doesn't pump. So that's the most effective move. They hit the maximum there, so good on them. What do we want to do here? Do we want to place the Agadine? And maybe just Infernal Grasp something? Sounds okay. That sounds okay with me. Swing in here. We'll get another one to replace it, so I doubt they'll block. They'll probably just let it go through. Bam! Decay. That decay animation is really good. I'm sort of half tempted to drop a Graph Reaver. Do we want to drop a Graph Reaver, or do we want to Infernal Grasp something? It's close. I think I'm going to opt to do this. This kind of puts us in a weird spot here. Because we're tied, and they have the upper hand because we're on the play. On the draw, excuse me. They are on the play. So they're going to drop an Elite Spellbinder. Assuming they're taking the Amalgam, even though we don't have a blue source, but I could be wrong. They might take the Stitcher. Yeah, they're okay, so they're going to take the Stitcher. Okay. Blue source would be great here. So we are going to take that 1 life, and we're going to get another Stitcher. That's actually pretty funny. Should we take the Stitcher here? I think we just play the Stitcher, yeah. Alright, so now we're in the air. I'm going to swing in the air here. Maybe they trade the Spellbinder for the Reaver. Yeah, that's a pretty good move. Swing out. This is going to tap. Tap is going to decay and die forever. But we will get another one back, so it's kind of cool. I'm trying to think if I want to play this Agadine's Awakening or not, because we could use this later to reanimate something, and the blue source doesn't help us at all. Like, literally at all. So I'm not going to play it. We need a blue source to even play for the Amalgam. Woo-wee! That is rough. That's some rough cookies right there. We're going to have to Infernal Grasp that thing. Oh my god, and they don't swing. I was about to have a heart attack. Oh my god. Oh my god, it was scary. Okay, what do we want to do here? Well, let's go ahead and just... Oh, not you. Not you. That was close. Trigger finger, sorry. Attack with the Zomboy. Boom. It will decay. And then we'll go ahead and just keep the Amalgam or the Grasp, whatever we need at the time, in our pocket. Create a zombie to create food for the Amalgam. Sun Gold Sentinel. We won't be able to get rid of that with any sort of removal because it can give itself hexproof, so I think it's time to drop the Amalgam. Let's go ahead and sacrifice the zombie. Get rid of that. And they're still starting... This is a scary board. I'm not comfortable with this at all. And they're not swinging. I think that is a dire mistake. Yeah, that's an error, in my opinion, because yeah, why would you not want to swing here? We do have a Reaver in the grave. I can Infernal Grasp the adversary, and that's what I'll do. So let's swing in here, and without a doubt, definitely going to pop this adversary if we can. Now they decide to attack. Now they decide to. So, okay. So they're going to create, actually get two little weenies here. Take your weenies. I'm going to grasp you. This is the one with the counter on it, right? Yes. So I lose 2 life, but it'll be well worth it. Let's go ahead and block you. I'll take this. That doesn't bug me that much. I'll take this 4. So let's go ahead and do that. And losing that is going to be crippling for them. Let's go ahead and sacrifice. Oh, it has to be a non-token. So let's not do that. Thought we were going to maybe get a good power play here. Oh, the swamp hurts. Swamp hurts pretty bad because now this awakening just becomes a Reaver. Yeah, swamp hurt bad actually. Holy Moses. So let's go ahead and swing in here. That's gonna go bye-bye. We'll get another one. Wow, these are just bricks. This is a brick. I guess I can get a Reaver. That's an expensive Reaver. I guess we'll do it. That is a very expensive Reaver. I'm not going to exploit anything. Guess we'll just play the swamp. Why not? Alright. That will be not enough for lethal. Be 1 short of lethal. And the Graph Reaver will deal damage to us, but we do get a 3/3 body out of it, so that's nice. Hopefully, the only thing really bad they could draw would be an adversary or an apparition. That's not too threatening here. And that's gonna be it. Wow, we hold them off. Very solid. Martyr of Sands. With a Teferi. Not bad. We are on the draw. We've come to eat your brains. I don't know if you guys ever know that song. It's like, I forgot who sings it. It's like, hey Tom, it's down the hall. We're gonna pound on the door. Something like that. But it's inside, we'll all eat your brains. God, I wonder what that song's called. Anyway, let's go ahead and drop a Perish turn 1. Versus what looks to be mono white, I'm assuming. Oh, yes. Yes, siree. Yes, siree. Let's go ahead and drop the island here. Do we want to go with the white, or do we just want to start pumping out zombies? Let's start pumping out zombies and get some bumpage going. No attacks. We'll get a decaying zombie. Man, I never even noticed that, but in the token, it's actually holding its own arm. Never noticed that. You're gonna swing. Woo. Alrighty. Alrighty with me. Let's go ahead and drop the Headless Rider to bump the Perish, so now they can't block with the Spirit. This replaces itself anyway. So we're looking pretty good here. Despite being on the draw, we're looking pretty good. Then, we'll get a bump on the Perished. And then next turn, we're looking at a Geralt Visionary Stitcher. Oh, that's going to put some pressure on us. That's going to put some pressure for sure. Two Light Scribes. That could get saucy quick. Oh, wow. I'm going to let this go through, but I'm a little nervous. They don't have a lot of actual, like, resources in the hand, obviously, but wow, I mean, giving everything 1/1 is going to be nasty. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. Everything flies. No lie, we fly, you know this. I'm gonna swing with everything, not you, not you. That was a lie, not you. Do we want to give up the Headless Rider? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. These do not conflict because this doesn't give with Decayed. So even though it says if there's no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. So these Headless Rider and the Ghoul Caller do not conflict. So that is very nice. You can get both zombies. And they let it go. That's kind of wild. Do they really have lethal? Let's go ahead and drop this for blue, whatever. We'll create that. I mean, do they really have lethal? I mean, I have 2 chump blockers as well. They gotta really do something crazy here. I mean, I know they give everything 1/1 every time they cast an instant or a sorcery. But we have 2 chump blockers. Okay. That's a little irksome. So they're gonna play down the Protector's Shield. Falkmira, everything ideal prevents 1 damage. So they're gonna go ahead and swing in here. We'll go ahead and bounce. Bounce this. Bounce off that. Take 4? It's doable. I think it's doable. And we do have an overcharged amalgam in the pocket. That's going to be very nice. So, okay. I definitely want to power this up a little bit, even though it's probably not looking like I'm going to be able to do that. So, let's swing with all the flyers here, because I still will be able to kill, even though it prevents 1 damage. This prevents everything for 1 damage, but we don't have anything for 1, so everything will at least be able to deal 1 damage. So let's swing out here. They will get the Headless Rider, unfortunately. I think I do want to take it with it. I mean, I could pop it with this Visionary Stitcher, but I don't think I want to do that. No, let's not do that. So let's go ahead and get 1. This bumps up 1 and create another Decayed at our end step. Right? Yes. So this will become a 7/7 in the air. And we can go ahead and counter anything we want here. They will still get the bump because whenever they cast it, this will trigger off. But we still do get an amalgam to counter anything we want. Anything. Be careful, Martyr. And a Clarion Spirit. Oh man. They're gonna create a bunch of flyers here if they cast a second spell. I mean, I'm still gonna counter it, but I mean, like, oh, that's really irksome. That's annoying. So let's go ahead and get rid of a zombie. Let's go ahead and do the one with Decayed. Part of me wishes, not wishes, should. Okay, well that's gonna be it. It doesn't really matter. Get out of here, Martyr. Seconds, I have come to eat your mother frickin' brain. Opponent goes first. I like when I go first. This is a good hand. I mean, outside of like, if we just drew a blue source, we actually really couldn't even ask for like a better hand, to be completely honest. So, oh my god, this bloodbat is so annoying. So we're gonna be down one blue source, but that's okay. More black. I haven't seen a single matchup of green today, so waiting for the green to show up. Oh, that's actually ironic. I didn't even see these sleeves before I said that. That's actually a tree. It's supposed to be for mono green. I forgot which set was the promo for it, but that's actually supposed to be mono green for something, I believe. Let's drop the island. I'm gonna opt to go with this puppy right here. Yeah, sure. Comes in tapped, but it is a little extra more powerful. We do get a 2/2 every turn, but here we go. Now we do have a blue source now. So now we can set up for the overcharged amalgam. So that is very good. Drop the Headless Rider. Opponent still hasn't played anything. That's kind of peculiar. You gotta imagine something's coming at some point. Still nothing. You do know I have an amalgam in my hand now, right? Alrighty. Now, they've got to be having like a... Got to be having something now, right? I mean, they played a grass, but nothing else. I mean, if they just let this go, that's going to be way too passive. Okay. Double smacks? Double smacks it is? I wonder if they have another removal, but they're like wondering because the Headless Rider is like the best 3-drop in the game. I'm kidding. Well, only by a little bit. Because if they have a removal and they take away the Headless Rider or the white, it just comes back as a 2/2. So you're not really getting any meaningful value at all. Like, at all. And we can just counter anything. This is the good part about our deck now, is we can just counter anything. We don't want to counter that because it's just a 1-drop, so they'll probably take away the Agadeem's Awakening, I'm assuming. Yeah, good choice. They get rid of a land and a big reanimate spell all at the same time. And they're going to pass turn. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. You know that I have, like, a win condition on the board, right? I mean, you have to know. Alright, swing out. That's going to be 6. That'll drop him down to 3 if this goes through. Okay. Alright. So even if they, like, cleared the board here, I would still get 2 2/2s, which would make 4 damage on the next turn, and then just swing and kill. And that's even if I didn't have an overcharged amalgam waiting. I wonder if they use that to, like, bait or something. Deadly Dispute. Okay. We get a 2/2. They'll get a treasure back. So they have 3 mana to play with. Now they have 4. Worst case scenario, I could literally just flash this in. If they're tapped out, of course. You could just flash this in and then swing for lethal. So I think you wasted way too much time here. Yeah, you wasted too much time. You have to play those earlier, man. So we're back here at the hideout for the post-game wrap, and as you can see, the deck absolutely works very wonderfully. There's so much synergy going on between the Headless Rider, the Visionary Stitcher to give everybody flying. Like, and then once you have a board presence established, you can go ahead and counter your opponent's big move with the overcharged amalgam. It's just got so much going for it. The Agadeem's Awakening can reanimate all your people. Woo, it's so good. After further review, I didn't decide to add any of the maybe boards. I think I was correct in dodging all of them. So definitely if you want to run a shell with this, I will be doing one at some point with all of these cards here, but I'm not going to. The only slight knock I have on the deck being constructive criticism-ish, you know, I would say the mono white does have a little bit more firepower, but the only thing that in terms of sheer aggression, the only thing this deck does better is once it gets board wiped with either a Doomscar or, you know, Meat Hook's Massacre or even an Invitation only, is that it can recover because of the Headless Rider. And we obviously have a counter. Counters, you know, counter everything. But the Headless Rider, if you get wiped with the Rider, it just replenishes the board. Mono White can't do that. Now, of course, they do have other things like Redain and Thalia to prevent them from wiping in the first place. But once they do get wiped, Mono White's done. It's a wrap. It's over with. This deck, I am so pleased with this deck, and I am going to continue running this and climbing up the ladder. I had a blast running this deck. The Headless Rider, not only is the art amazing, mwah, but it is just a powerhouse of a card. And overall, I just love this deck so much. Probably one of my favorite. I know I probably say that every video, but this is easily one of my favorite decks I ever made a video for, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I like displaying it for you. So if you'd be so kind, please leave a like. The button looks just like this, just like that, and it helps out the channel so much. Then, you know, if you want to, you can subscribe, you can comment, tell me however ugly I am, whatever you gotta do. But until the next episode, I will see you then. ManaMan.